Yes, guys, welcome back to episode 4 of the World of Darts podcast. As we know, last week, unfortunately, Chris couldn't join us, but he's back again. So back to normal services resumed. So first of all, before we get into this, how are you, Chris?
Just the same old boring answer. It's just my usual self, as always.
Enjoyed the darts? There was a lot going on, to be fair, wasn't
Yeah,
there? There was a lot to enjoy.
there was a lot going on. Yeah, so I tried to keep updated with a lot.
It's so hard because we had the live league on the online darts YouTube channel, so that was going on, which Matthew Edgar played in today, by the way. Then we had obviously the World Seniors, then the Premier League and the Pro Tours as well. So I've managed to sort of catch up on it, look at the results, and look at different bits to give a better analysis of the sort of weekend of darts. But before anything, I do just want to say a massive shout out to Chris for hitting 50 subscribers on YouTube, halfway to 100 subscribers. So if you are new to first of all, my channel, hit the subscribe button, but please do subscribe to Chris. He's on the road to 100 subscribers. His link is obviously in the description. But yeah, he has hit 50 subscribers. So first of all, a massive well done to you. And then take a few comments. Ben says, evening. And Chris, it's not just me, but yeah, evening to you. And Kieran says, good to see you both again. First time catching the pod live. It's going to be a good one. It is going to be a good one. And what a one to catch live when we've got so much of that. And I've added a little bit extra to these podcasts as well. So it's not just going to be us talking. We have got a few sort of graphics things that we can put on the screen. And the first thing we're going to talk about is this man, first of all, and the World Seniors. Of course, it was Robert Thornton that lifted the World Seniors, beating Martin Adams 5-1 in the final. A very convincing win from the Fawn, former UK Open champion as well, former Grand Prix champion. Robert Thornton lifted the World Seniors of darts. What was your thoughts on, first of all, the World Seniors and obviously Robert Thornton becoming the champion?
The World Seniors overall, I thought it was enjoyable, to be fair. It was quite enjoyable. I did expect it to be, because some people you don't see for the first time. Some people didn't see John Law, Bob Anderson for the first time, because they probably weren't born to witness them two. They were two of the players who were at the very start of darts, along with Paul Game, of course, who's still going on. And I thought that the tournament was quite enjoyable for the whole every round. And the only disappointing thing was the coverage from BT. I thought it was quite poor, because at times when they were on the advert, when they came back from the advert, Bobby Jaws and Ray Stubbs were already talking about
I
was like, that's a bit of a missed time and that. But
and
so it kind of felt like it was on repeat when it was like that. It was like
a highlight reel.
Yeah, it's like it was already pre-recorded. Like it wasn't really actual live, but of course it was, because the darts referee obviously went to it and on his channel. So yeah, the whole tournament I thought it was an enjoyable one, and the best player won the tournament in my opinion. He was Robert Thornton, consistent throughout the tournament, and I even thought even through the tournament, I always thought no one's touched Robert Thornton in my opinion. I don't think anyone's gonna beat him in my opinion. Painter, Kevin Painter took 2 sets off him, but I think that was the best.
The most that anyone took off in the entire tournament, wasn't it? So we'll talk about Robert Thornton and the final in a minute, but there was one moment that is going to go down. I don't care who won the final. Bob Anderson, 180, last visit of his tournament, and that point, that's got to be the most iconic moment of that entire tournament. The Bob Anderson 180 and pointed.
It's a famous dumb point or whatever he does. It was just weird seeing him with classes, to be fair, Bob Anderson.
Yeah, and I felt sorry for
he used to have hair
as well. I felt sorry for watching Bobby George in the sort of like pundit role. He doesn't look. Don't want to say he doesn't look well, because there might be, it just looks like he's just, it looks a
do
bit
think
ill and
he's
pale
always
in the
been
face.
like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk on the actual final then. It did finish in the final. We're not going to, go too much on the tournament, but the final did finish Robert Thornton 5, Martin Adams 1. Going into the final, like you said, it was the two best players in the tournament that were in the in the final, and there was no begrudging of the final. Martin Adams, probably got to the final. I think you said it in the stream or in your prediction video. He's got there based off his 100 plus average, 100 plus finishing, and Robert Thornton has got there on his consistency. If you look at averages, 92 from Robert Thornton, 89 from Martin Adams. Adams didn't play well, but it was just that first couple of sets from Robert Thornton, 118 in set 1, 103 in set 3. He just blew Martin Adams away in the early stages of the final, didn't he?
Yeah, I think I said in my final prediction, it's going to be interesting because Robert Thornton, you can't get him in the lead, get a two-set that lead, in my opinion. I always thought that even at 2-0, at 2 sets to 0, I was like, final's done. Because Robert Thornton, he's had a lot of players, they are dud at holding the lead, in my opinion. And it's not shock with Thornton because he's done it on the PDC, where in his PDC finals as well, the World Tour 3 he won, and the UK Open he won as well.
That UK Open he won, he had probably the toughest ever run to a final as well in a PDC major.
I think he played Taylor as well in the final.
Yeah, it was Taylor, yeah.
And Thornton even knew then he had to try and get in the lead, and he did. I think Martin Adams, he didn't play that bad, in my opinion. Well, I thought he played quite well. Just couldn't. What can you do? I mean, what can you do where you play well and pretty Thornton was hitting everything?
Your opponent hits everything. There's nothing you can do.
For the first 4 sets, and everyone would have. If that was me, I probably would have walked off stairs already.
I'm not having any of that.
And I don't travel back to bloody Carlisle.
Yeah.
I'll just say give him the trophy now.
Just say hello to a few people. Big up to Maisie Devils United and big up to Niall as well. So in terms of the tournament in general, then we said that obviously it was, it was everything that you was expecting. Maybe the broadcasting was, maybe a negative, but in terms of that, I mean, they've got more events on the senior tour now, obviously the Masters and both the match play.
Do you think this is better?
Yeah. Do you think this is just going to be like the gateway now when we first, start seeing the PDC start from its roots, and maybe there was a few ums and ahs about the PDC when it first started. Do you think it's just first tournament of this new sort of format sort of thing?
I think it's a 50-50 tour, in my opinion. I think there is seriousness to it, but there is a bit of a friendly time because they're not playing anymore. Well, most of these players and seniors not playing anymore. Thornton's obviously still playing, with Yeats and others. But I'm talking about the legends like Phil Taylor, etc., Painter, Jenkins. I think they're going to be. Well, Phil Taylor got the hump, didn't they? His interview, and that was one of the surprises for me because I thought Taylor would be even better. Well, I thought he played better. I thought he would play even better than he should. I put him to win the tournament. Well, that went down the fan. But it's just one of them. I think it will help Taylor though that there's more tournaments because now he's got the hump and now he's
you've got to get him to win the next one.
you know Phil Taylor too well when he gets embarrassed and gets the hump. I think he always bounces back from it. He did it for all of his years at the PDC as well. So But yeah, this tour thing is like, yeah, I don't really call Robert Thornton world champion. I just
I was
call
just
him.
going to get on that.
I just call him like a world seniors champion, as a tournament says, and
Yeah.
I don't think we should get over the top now and say, if you say Martin Adams won it or Phil Taylor won it, Phil Taylor should be 17-time world champion, because I think that's a bit. I mean, who knows? Who knows? We would have said that about the BDO, didn't we? And
Can you see an argument for it being counted towards the World Championship titles?
I don't count it personally.
Yeah, yeah.
Because,
No, I don't as well. I'm just saying, like, playing
I,
devil's advocate. You know, they acted the BDO as
But
obviously
don't they want it be nice
champion.
for them? It'd be obviously it's a nice addition for them, but to add it to your PDC, which is the bidder, which is the bid,
Yeah,
jackpot. Yeah, that's where you win titles and all that. Obviously, BDO obviously counts as well when they counted. Well, BDO slash WDF, and so they obviously counted when Ken Durant is obviously a 3-time world champion. But yeah, world senior shouldn't count in my opinion. I'm sorry, I'm not being harsh. Not being harsh about phone or anything. Everyone, I don't want people coming at me saying, "Oh, you're too brutal, man." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's a friendly tournament. It's like with the other World Senior Tour tournaments as well. They're friendly as well."
Well, talking about one new tournament to change into a tournament that has changed its stripes, you could say the least. Night one for the Premier League of Darts got underway on Thursday. You can see it there on the screen, the draw bracket. Johnny Clayton losing to Peter Wright in a final 6-1. Obviously you can see, the bracket there, but I must say, me and you on this very channel said that the Premier League is the Premier Cup of Darts. How my mind has changed, how your mind has changed. First of all, what do you think of this format? I know exactly what you think of it, and then obviously we'll break down last week's Premier League.
I knew when I had my I knew when I had my meltdown over it, it would come back to it would come back to bite me. It was in the back of my mind saying I might actually like it, once I see week one, and yeah, that proved to be the case.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it now. Absolutely love it now. Once you get understanding of it, and it stops these players playing for a point. The likes of the players who are obviously normally be fighting for where they're son. Obviously not where they're son now, but so it urges every player on now to meaning they have to win.
Yeah, just running through game week one then. Sorry. No one can fight for a draw anymore. You know, every match matters, like the sort of poster says. But Johnny Clayton then beating Joe Cullen, 103 average for Johnny Clayton. I was expecting him to absolutely wipe the floor with Cullen, just with it being night one, Wales, Premier League title holder thing. I really expected that. Then the shot came. We're going to talk about this man later on when we finished talking about the week in the Premier League. But James Wade beating Gerwyn Price 6-3 with an 88 average. Peter Wright then doubled his sort of pile on Michael Smith, 6-3 win over Bully Boy. Michael Van Gerwen losing 6-4 to Gary Anderson in the quarterfinals. James Wade was 4-2 up against Johnny Clayton, but the Ferret managed to turn it around and win 6-4. Peter Wright beat Gary Anderson in a last leg decider, and then Johnny Clayton lost 6-1 in the final to Peter Wright. But talking about a few sort of talking points in there, there's a player I'm really worried about at the moment, and that's James Wade. I'm not seeing that high James Wade game anymore. It's normally an 88 to a 90 average, and you used to see a 97 to a 99 top end James Wade game, and the A game is not there from Wade at the moment. He got through against Gezi, 88 average. I mean, I don't know what's up with him at the moment. But yeah, do you see it being a little blip for Wade, or do you think he could be losing that A game that he's so sort of known for?
He's just it's just James Wade. It's like one of them. Don't trust him at all. It's like he's one of them players, bit like that then Stone Price in the Premier League, night one, and James Wade. Stone Price didn't turn up. We need to be honest about that. If Price turned up, I think he would have beaten James Wade. I won't say wiped the floor with him. I think James Wade is a tough customer as always to beat.
Yeah.
No matter what he says. He's just one of them players, Wade, isn't he? He gets the job done. That's for him. And I personally, I think it's a dud start to Premier League for James Wade, in my opinion. I know he lost in the semi-finals, but he's got the points at Yates, hasn't he? He's got the points. I don't think he would have thought he would beat Darren Price at the start, but he did. And but we need to trust him on the rest of the weeks as well, because it's no chance. He's got short Holland this week, hasn't he? And this is typical James Wade for you. He'll probably beat Darren Price, and then he'll probably short Holland might end up beating him. That's James Wade for you.
Yeah, looking at the table then, just bringing up the Premier League table. Yes, it's only one night of the Premier League, but we're starting to potentially see an early sign of the Premier League. Peter Wright is, of course, leading the table with 5 points. Johnny Clayton on 3. Gary Anderson and James Wade both on 4 to round up the playoff places at the moment, with Van Gerwen and Gerwin Price both not in the top 4. Like you said, it's one week. 1 week will not define, the 17, 16, whatever week is season. It's not going to be defined based off that. But
I do agree. On you. I think you're about to say it. This week is going to be bid for 3 periods already.
Yeah, we're gonna get onto night 2 in a minute. But looking at in terms of an early sort of start to the Premier League, you've got to say Peter Wright could look like he could absolutely blow this tournament away. He's averaging pretty high in every one of his matches. He says he's confident, and he's not just saying it. He's showing us as well. I think you're one of the main people that say let your talking happen on the dartboard, and he's doing that at the moment. Peter Wright. He's not just talking. He's talking.
He's the darts version of Tyson Fury.
Yeah, he's talking.
He does out there and does it.
Yeah. Is it any worrying signs for anyone? I know we're going to get on to night 2 in a minute, but are you starting to worry for someone after 1 week, or are you in the position like me where it's just 1 week, it doesn't mean anything this early on?
I am a bit 50-50. It is too early to judge, but there is one player I am worried about. I think Mike might know who it is. I think I've gone for Michael van Duren because I think that's who he's got this week, Peter Wright, and you don't want to start off with pretty 0 points within the first 2 weeks. I think Darren Price could be worried because he's got his big old rival this week as well, Gary Anderson. But I think Darren Price, without spoiling anything, I think he'll turn up. It will turn up this time because he'll get that momentum from being awful last week. So, I think he'll turn up again.
So as you can see, we have got the night 2 draw bracket for. We're not going to go weeks and weeks in advance. We're just going to go week by week, every week on the Tuesday night for the podcast. But looking at week 2, there's already, obviously week 1 is irrelevant because it's the first week, but already there's a couple of games in here where players need to be picking up, need to be winning these games. I mean, you look at the first one, Peter Wright, Michael Van Gerwen, already mentioned about Van Gerwen. Michael Smith needs to get a win against Johnny Clayton. James Wade, steady. If he gets another win, he's looking in a great position. Joe Cullen needs to win that. And Gerwin Price as well, like you said, against one of his rivals, Gary Anderson, also needs to win. So there's already 4
Anderson's an easy turn up as well. for these bid downs.
I'm going to ask you for your early prediction. I'm going to ask you for your final and who you think is going to win night 2. Get your predictions in the chat as well. Who you think is going to reach the final of night 2 and who you think is going to win the event in Liverpool as well. Night 2 is in on Thursday, but it's a big night for a lot of players.
I've done for a Michael Smith versus Darren Price final. Because I think both of them, they need to be up for it. And I'm not saying they're desperate for it. I think Mike Van Doorn is probably the more desperate. Who needs it the most. But I see it's a tough one because the crowd will play a big part, in my opinion, in this final. Especially Darren Price in the final against Michael Smith.
Yeah, you know exactly what's going to happen.
And unfortunately, I feel that is going to play a big part. I said in my predictions as well. I might shock a few people, but I've done for Michael Smith to win night 2.
I've gone. I don't know if it's a boring final, but I've gone Clayton Gerwin Price final. I think Clayton gets past Smith. I think he gets past Peter Wright. And Gerwin Price needs to perform. And when someone like Gerwin Price, Peter Wright, Michael Van Gerwen, when they need to perform, I think they do. So I'm going to go Clayton Price final. I've got Price to win it. Just take a quick comment. Patrick says, "Do you think MVG could win it? He needs to get back on track. He needs to get back on track. And look, if he doesn't get at least one win." There could be very worrying signs for MVG. I'm not sure who he's got the week after. I'll have a look in a minute, but it's a very, very.
Yeah, I'm loving this format already because
Yankee Clipper says Price.
With the last Premier League, the last recent Premier League, it wasn't like this where you have to get through. You have to get through to the next round so you can get points on the table.
Yeah.
So I think it makes it even more better and probably makes it even more. Mike Van Doorn needs it the most now. And I don't know what's happened with Van Doorn. I really don't. I think Van Doorn's been inconsistent since that World Final defeat to Peter Wright, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't think he's been the same since then.
Do you think there could look? There's no shocks in this. I don't care what anyone says. These are probably 8 of the best players in world dart. So if for example the lowest ranked player Joe Cullen, if he went on to win it, I don't think anyone's gonna say, "Oh my god, that's a massive shock." But is it a shock if Joe Cullen or, for example, James Wade goes on to win this, or even Michael Van Gerwen at the moment in his current form? No. Yes, he's the world number 3. I don't think
any of them is a shock.
Yeah.
Because Dario Jansen depends on who turns up. Wes Anderson turns up. Darren Price, if he turns up, he's definitely reaching the final at Yates, you would think. Joe Cullen's playing with no pressure. I think he's the most underdog in this Premier League tournament, and no one's going to be focusing on him that much, on that desperate need to get through, to get points on the table, to say. So I think James Wade, it's James Wade, and it's just, he gets the job done, and he doesn't have to average 100. He could easily win this night on 95 average because once again, off his finishing, he is one of the best finishers in the world. So it is one of them. I wouldn't be shocked with anyone winning night 2, honestly.
Yeah, exactly the same as me. Look, I know some of them may be out of form, or some players might not be playing to the best of their ability, but at the end of the day, they're 8 of the best players in world darts. If one of them goes on to win, because all you have to win is 3 matches. I know it sounds a lot, but it's not really 18 legs of darts. If you go on to win, 3 matches, then you're not going to say, "Oh my God, how has he won the night?" Like if you look at all of them will win one. I just think all of them probably will win one. Just when you get to like the latter stages of the tournament and you've got like Peter Wright or Clayton or Price who are already comfortably in the playoffs, then you may see like a Joe Cullen or a James Wade win it.
You're going to see different winners as well. Once every week goes by. Everyone's on that momentum. Everyone's on that form back after playing every week. Because I don't think night one was as much of a shock for me, because some players need to play week in, week out to try and get that form back with the averages, etc. So I wouldn't be shocked that we haven't doubts on over Mike Van Der and he ends up winning night two.
Yeah.
It'd be so.
It would just be like Michael Van Gerwen. Yeah. Do you agree with Patrick here that at the moment you could make an argument that Peter Wright could win all of these? That with the form that he's in, he's literally obliterating everyone at the moment. And he got to a 5. He won a Players' Championship event, which we're going to get into in a bit. He just looks unstoppable at the moment.
Well, it depends what stars he plays with, start off with, isn't it? But
so someone said on Twitter, if MVG beats Peter Wright, I'm not even going to watch the game. I just know that it's Peter Wright's changed his darts.
Yeah, I just think Peter Wright, I do think at the moment he is the man to beat in this Premier League.
Yeah.
To start already, in my opinion. But I don't think it's fair to name a winner just yet who will win the whole thing, because it's an easy change to say that after another week, for example. So
yeah, so if Peter Wright wins this again, he's already on 10 points, and 10 points obviously won't get
that's not really
guaranteed.
Enough.
Not guaranteed, but it's definitely going to be, he's probably. No, I don't want to try and project how many points will be enough to get you in the playoffs, but it's probably looking up towards 20, or maybe even more than that. But 10 points after the first 2 weeks is absolutely solid. Moving away from the Premier League, then I can't believe how much that we had going on, but obviously it was the start of not the Premier League. Get that off. It was the start of the PDC Pro Tour season. And this man picked up title number 1. Luke Humphries defeating Ryan Searle in the final of Players' Championship 1. Good win for Luke Humphries, that?
Yep, very good win. Finally shown that he's matured after the Masters. I wonder if anyone started coughing, whoever you Humphries played, to be completely honest with you, and see if he had threw his toys out the pram at that. But yeah, good win, especially with the players he beat as well on the way to that Pro Tour, that Players' Championship 1 final as well. So yeah. It's no shock way to see Luke Humphries winning one of them titles, because he's got the talent, he's got the potential as well. It's all about if he's matured enough, and he was matured enough, which was good to see. And that's all he needs to be, matured enough to win, to go into every tournament, whether it's Pro Tour or the big TV tournament. I think Luke Humphries, as long as if he's got the right attitude and matured enough, he'll win even more for me.
Yeah, looking at some of the players that actually had a decent run in the first Players' Championship, people that may not, know about this. Jim Williams knocked out Gerwyn Price, which was a very, very good result for the Quiff to beat Gerwyn Price. Also, a couple of last 16 appearances for Scott Williams and Lee Evans. Richie Edhouse making a last 16 as well. Daryl Gurney reaching a semi-final, picking up a bit of form from him. In that early couple of Pro Tours, as we'll talk about in Pro Tour number 2 in a minute, but the first couple of Pro Tours of the season, it's all about just getting back to playing, getting back to the weekend of playing.
Sets you up for the rest of the year as well, in my opinion.
Kieran says it's time to start seeing Luke winning TV events. I think. Well, it all starts on the Pro Tour. You've got to start the Pro Tour's your bread and butter in it. That's the season. That's where you're going to get most of your ranking points from. And yeah, that's basically what Luke Humphrey's done. By Wright and Pro Tour. Well, you've just ruined it, Finley. We're just about to get on to Pro Tour number 2. And we've got a better graphic for Pro Tour number 2. And it was Peter Wright who beat in the final 8-5, I think it was, against Gerwyn Price. A final that we may be seeing a hell of a lot throughout the year. And now an interesting thing is Peter Wright is only £5,500 off.
Not £5.50.
You told me it was £5.50. I was like, I don't think it is, mate, but £5,500.
Because I was too busy looking at the pretty end numbers, wasn't I?
Yeah. So it goes, units in thousands, isn't it? But Peter Wright, I mean, winner of the World Championship, winner of Night 1 in the Premier League, winner of Pro Tour number 2. He's absolutely on fire at the moment, Peter Wright, and getting that early win over Gerwyn Price. How much is that gonna, put him in a good stead for the world, or for the world of darts this year, and to try and get that number 1 spot off the Welshman?
I think he's always been like that, even in previous years as well. Previous years he has won these Pro Tour titles. He's a major winner. I think I was to start saying he's been the most recent major winner every year recently. So this is no shock really.
Well, he currently holds the World Match Play, the World Championship. If he wins the Premier League, he currently holds the 3 biggest of TV events in World Darts. Peter Wright at the moment could be on an absolute surge. You probably fancy him as favourite to retain the match play and the World Championship coming up. So this could be an insane couple of years.
When he had his first title defence of the World Darts Championship, everyone would have said the same. And he got knocked out by Camerons. But to be fair, it wasn't the same because fans weren't there, so that always affects anyone's game, in my opinion, especially the big 3, in my opinion. So I think Peter Wright said it as well. I agree with that. I think Peter Wright is in the best form he's ever been in my opinion.
Well, he feels like Phil Taylor is what he said. I don't know if I agree with that, but...
Well, to be fair, he has played with Phil Taylor's darts once before, so... So I think that could be one of them, and I think he has that mentality as well, Peter Wright. He does have that mentality. He's a winner. He's a winner, and it is slightly worrying for the rest, in my opinion. Maybe not Gerwyn Price. I still think Gerwyn Price has still got enough left in him, in my opinion. But like I said, I think Peter Wright is going to be world number 1 before the end of the year at Yates.
Yeah.
Maybe well before that, with the way
could be next week
are going on.
Yeah, the next Pro Tours are next weekend, so Peter Wright could be the world number 1 going into the 3rd week of
Price don't be off for that.
Of the Premier League.
Well, I hope Price is off for that because if
I'm going to say your comment, Finley, because I want to bring that for question time, because I think that's a massive question to potentially end on. Just looking at, because I'm probably going to do this for every round of the Pro Tour, looking at the last 16. We don't want to go too far down, but last 16 appearances for Mensur Suljovic, Martin Schindler, William O'Connor, Ryan Meikle, Gordon Mathers, Lee Evans, Jamie Clark, Neil Zonneveld, Stephen Burton as well, Boris Kirchmar. A weird Pro Tour that. I mean, there's a lot of players
Stephen
in there.
Burton especially.
Yeah, beat Michael van Gerwen and Raymond van Barneveld.
This came off. He just came off from nowhere. That Stephen Burton. Of course, he is well known, and he is well known from recent years. But bloody hell, it's like a blast from the past moment. And then he just came from nowhere. So the others aren't surprised, in my opinion. Boris Kirchmar, especially.
Yeah, he's a good player, Boris. I do really like.
I think
Boris.
the only thing with Boris is just putting it on, just turning off on TV. That's the only thing with him.
Yeah, because he did get pretty embarrassed, didn't he, in the Grand Slam. I have got the end of year, the post World Championship order of merit, which I'm just going to put on screen now for you guys to see. And there are a few things that will tie into the question time at the end of the show. But if we look at it, there are a bit of worrying signs for a few players going down the list. At the end of the year, Michael Van Gerwen projected to finish 7th or to end 7th at the end of the World. We're talking about a player that is a 3-time world champion, someone that is slowly dropping, and no one is good enough on name alone to stay at the peak forever. Could this be a big drop in Michael Van Gerwen?
I hope not, because look, I don't think he'll be judged overall in his career, because look at the titles he's won in his career and the dominant spell he had as well. So he's always going to be up there behind that Phil Taylor category on one of the greatest one of the greatest dance players, behind Phil Taylor, of course. So, but it is very worrying with Van Gerwen at the moment. I mean, there's a lot of comments. Is it because he moved to Winmu?
Yeah, I don't agree.
I don't agree with that, because it's basically the same dart he uses, in my opinion. And I think Van Gerwen has already got used to them as well.
He will win something, I think. That's what I wanted to ask. I think that's what a lot of people have been asked. I just wanted to show that on screen just to show how crazy it is. But
I think it's meant.
I don't know, because I don't want to, say it's the end and then he comes back and wins something very early
I don't
on.
think it's the end for him yet, in my opinion.
But is it starting to become a concern?
It is starting to become a concern now, obviously, I think. Because Van Gerwen, I think all of us know Van Gerwen on his top form, he is the best 3. He is part of the big 3.
Yeah.
But at the moment, would you say that? No, he isn't, in my opinion. So I don't care. I might get Dutch fans coming at me in comments, but but you have to say Johnny Caton's probably the number 3 behind White and Price, in my opinion.
Probably in front of Price at the moment.
And in front of Price recently as well.
Yeah.
So it is a concern, because I do want to see. I want to see these big 3, as we told them, Price, White, Van Gerwen, to all be on the best form. And Van Gerwen, he's been inconsistent since that World Final defeat to Peter White. So he's been inconsistent for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, he needs to get something.
I think it's a confidence thing. Because I think if he wins one big tournament, then I think he's better then, in my opinion. I think that'll be a confidence booster for him.
The Premier League is not a ranking event, Finley. So whoever wins that is irrelevant.
It shouldn't be either.
It's an exhibition. It's an exhibition. And not just that, it's not open to everyone.
And it's not fair on the players who are not in the Premier League.
Yeah. Just to talk to the question time then, I can quickly take this comment off the start. But the first question that I want you to answer first, is it do or die for Price this year? He's defending 800k. Look, he could easily go and win the Worlds and win the match play and win whatever he wants because he's that good. But is it so much the case that you've got to do something now, sort of thing? You're defending £800,000. You've got to have a stinker at the Worlds. That is the largest part of the prize money in the year. A couple of Pro Tours, maybe winning a UK Open, European Championship, something like that. And we might not even be having this discussion in a few months' time. But is it do or die for Gerwyn Price?
No, not for me. I do think Price will definitely win a couple of Pro Tour titles. I mean, he's already. I'm not choosing on that though, because he's already reached a final of one of them. But the fact he reached a final in one of them is still got the day, in my opinion.
Considering he lost a defeat to Jim Williams, that must have a mental aspect. Like, cause no disrespect to Jim Williams, I really like him a lot, but Gerwyn Price will be looking at that thinking, I've just lost to Jim Williams.
Yeah, I need Jim Williams, but yeah, I can say that I did expect Gerwyn Price to not like do a job, but I expected him to beat him. And I think doing Price, I still think be okay in my opinion. I don't think he'd be that far off number one in my opinion. I do think Peter White will overtake him, but I do think doing Price will be okay this year. I definitely think he's going to win. I definitely think he's going to win a major. But I said that about Mike Van Der and the whole last year. Yeah, Tefton sounding like a broken record saying, "No, don't worry, he'll win one. He'll win the trophy," but he hasn't. On yes, you count and this bloody nonsense CE tournament that he won against Fancher in the final.
Oh, the Nordic Masters.
Yeah. I'm not interested. That Tim Pot, just move that along. But
there's actually one thing that I did forget to mention, so I'm going to have to quickly drop this in. Iron Force don't forget to mention the online live league. So Matthew Edgar was involved in the live league today. Just run through his results because I know quite a few people are interested. It was a 4-2 win over Tribo Tricole. He was really good in that game. Tricole's a very, very good player. Then he lost 4-3 to Jared Cole. Jared Cole, again, another capable player. Lost 4-3 to Kieran Tian. Looked like a really bright, project coming out of Ireland. Beat Simon Stevenson 4-1 and lost to Robert Rickwood 4-3. I did have to quickly bring them up due to obviously that being a big part of the tour, and Matthew Edgar's looking hopefully to get that tour card straight back. Take a few more questions. Kieran says, do you think number one spot will keep changing between Price and Wright? I think this ties in with this question of who do you think will be number one by the end of the year, but I think end of the year
I'm going to be Peter White, but I do agree with Kieran actually. I don't think it's going to be all Peter White Peter White for the rest of the year. I do think it will keep changing. Keep changing.
Like our opinion.
Yeah. Bit like Marlo's opinion. So
yeah.
So I think it will keep changing between the both of them. In my opinion, that's what I said before. Doing Price be okay, and he'll win.
I think the end of the year, and I'm presuming you mean end of the World Championships because obviously that goes into the next year.
Yeah, by the end of the Worlds, I meant. Yeah.
I'll say Gerwyn Price is world number one. I think he wins the Worlds. I just think there's something where he's going to be up for that. It's going to be a full year of full crowds for the entire year. There's going to be no, obviously apart from the Pro Tours, there's going to be no and there's not going to be anything in the way. It's going to be a full year of full crowds at every venue. And like Iron Force says, but Gerwyn dominates the decade. And Gerwyn Price has got age on his side, hasn't he, compared to Peter Wright. Finley said, we're not going to read this comment from Boo because he says, do you think Fallon can be top 40?
No.
Not going to read that. Who do you think will win the next two Pro Tours? Now, that is interesting. I think this depends on the Premier League, actually. And I'm going to take the lead on this one. The only reason I say it depends on the Premier League, if Michael Van Gerwen fails in the Premier League, I think he wins Players' Championship free. I think he's going to go into that thinking, I really need to do something here. This is becoming a bit of a problem now, becoming a bit of an issue.
That's one. That's one we agree on.
And two, I think it's going to be the same as the last two Pro Tours where we get one sort of really high favourite and then one sort of outsider. And my outsider, I'm going to go Callan Ridds.
Fucking idiot.
Is that what you went for? All right, just to switch it up, because I had two. The other one I was going to say is Ryan Searle. Don't tell me that was your bloody second choice.
No, it wasn't mine. So mine was Christopher Tassi.
Ooh, Ratajski had a couple of good days in the Pro Tour, to be honest, didn't he? Yes, to answer that question.
I'll do Mike Van Doon and Christopher Tassi. I'll say, yeah.
Yeah, I think someone mentioned. I don't want to get into this because I know it's an awful topic to talk about, but talking about Ratajski potentially having datitis. I don't know if you've seen it the other day.
I always thought he's
at the Masters.
Like that, in my opinion, he has that. weird floor, doesn't he? Like,
yeah, it
it's not
just seemed
weird.
like it was
It's
too
not as
much.
weird as the others we've seen, but it's like he spins his dart, and
Yeah,
I think it's
it's
more the trip, in my opinion, with Vitesse.
right. Get your last questions in before we end the stream. Then anything to do with the week of darts, anything upcoming. We've obviously mentioned our Premier League picks and stuff like that. But if you do want to get any last minute questions in, please make sure to do that before we wrap up episode 4. But it's been good to get Chris back in the hot seat.
That comment from Boo, right? If that happened, Aiton Lewis should retire.
Yes, this comment is the one he's referring to. But yeah, anything to do with like the Pro Tours, any last minute questions, we'll get the last minute one. I will just go up in the chat to make sure we haven't missed any. Iron Force says would be nice to see Matt Campbell settle well into the tour and Ross Smith to continue the rise. I'll tell you what, Matt Campbell shocked me over the weekend. I thought he was going to do a lot better than what he did. Jeff Smith actually was the better Canadian out of the two. That I never thought that would have happened over the weekend. I'm just trying to see if we have missed one. Obviously, we've seen the one about Gerwin Price. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult to sort of pinpoint, a certain thing at the moment, isn't it? We have got a last question in from Kieran. This will be the last one that we wrap up the episode with. And he says, do you think Price has lost his charisma and appetite? I'll let you take this one because everyone knows I'm a massive Gerwin Price fan. So I just want to say no, but I want someone from the outside who's not so much a massive fan of Price, but obviously don't dislike him. But I think it would be a bit biased if I answered it. So
no, I don't think he has. I still think he's still showing that passing, hasn't he? Even when he wins the head, when he's not playing well, he still shows that wall passing, and I still think he has it in him, in my opinion.
I just think he needs to win something.
For me, I still think with Chuds and Gerwin Price far too early, in my opinion, because he hasn't won the Worlds, he got knocked out in the quarterfinals, I think it was.
Yeah.
The Masters as well. With Chuds and him far too early, I think Gerwin Price can easily win a Pro Tour title and then all of a sudden win a major as well, and then everyone's saying he's back.
On Gerwin Price, do you think he set too many high standards that people are expecting him to stay at this high standard? Now he won the Worlds, he's won the Grand Slam 3 times. He's appeared in. Yes, he's not done it in the Premier League, but he's getting to at least the semi-finals. He's won the Grand Prix. He's got to the Grand Prix final last year. Yes, he got destroyed by Clayton, but his standards are up here at the moment, Gerwin Price, and anything that drops just an inch below the standards that he set is Gerwin Price, is it to the end? Is he not wanting it anymore, etc., etc.? I just think, like you said, we're judging him way too early.
I think he's world number 1 as well, so you need to set them. You do need to set them high standards, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it was after he won the Worlds as well, so I don't really blame him for setting them high standards, because that's the only way you're going to progress, in my opinion, by winning even more. Yeah. So it's total progression at the end of the day. So, but yeah, I don't think he's lost there at all. I think, like I said, we're choosing him far too early. There's a lot of tournaments to do. You know what darts is like over the whole year, Pro Tour, and all these tournaments. So I think he'd be okay, Price. I do think he'll. Obviously you won't like that. I think he'll use the world number 1 spot, but I don't think he's going to drop off that far.
I think he'll lose it at some point. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's going to continue. Maybe he needs
to kick up the bat side.
Yeah. Because at the moment he's the standard setter, and I think when you're the standard setter, it's so hard to set. No, it's not hard to set standards. It's easy to set them, but it's so hard to keep building on them. Peter Wright is.
I think that's one of the reasons why Mike Van Duren's dropped off as well.
And one of the reasons why Peter Wright is going through this absolute surge. I reckon it's a bold statement, it's a bold prediction early on, but I think when Wright gets that world number 1, because he's going to get it at some point, it's just obviously he's going to get it at some point. Gerwyn Price needs to win absolutely everything, and Peter Wright to not be in the final to not get knocked off the world number one. And look, I love Gerwyn Price. I absolutely adore the man in terms of on the dartboard, but it's
I'm not.
it's just
discrediting
not gonna
what Gerwyn Price has done,
he's
especially the
not
way he
gonna stay world
started
number
darts
one.
as well.
Yeah, he's just
Went
not
on
gonna
to
stay as world
be
number one.
still to world champion, world number one. So it
In
deserves
7 years,
credit for that.
Yeah,
and
but I think
I don't hate him. I don't dislike him that much.
a lot of people do, which is I don't get you. Look, you can dislike someone. I get that. I could dislike some random person that I have absolutely no background on, but to hate someone that you don't know, I think that's a bit out there. You can't hate someone that you have absolutely
Gerwyn Price
idea about.
has brought something to darts, hasn't he? With his the character of him, the passion, and on top, we do love all these shenanigans on stairs as well. With when Price is involved or Adrian Lewis is involved as well.
Oh, definitely Adrian Lewis. He's like a Coronation Street character. Adrian Lewis is.
I swear to God, Adrian Lewis would probably even start on the youngest darts player ever, which is Fabian Schmaltz.
Yeah, or like Keane Barry at a Pro Tour. Shavings. But yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with him? Honestly, just pretty.
That's another one that is on a massive drop this year. I feel sorry for Adrian Lewis. Don't feel sorry for him because it's his own fault that this drop is happening.
No, it's his own fault.
But it's just unfortunate.
He was shocking. I do think Adrian Lewis got way too big for his boots after being back to back world champion. Of course, he didn't chop off obviously around that mark, but a couple of years after that, he did chop off. Did chop off Adrian Lewis. He was shocking. He obviously had personal problems, unfortunately for him, where it was his weight and all that. Mental health, I think, as well. So
he had a few family issues as well.
I don't dislike him that much. I do think he needs a good hit up the bat side though. Adrian Lewis. He does need to hit up the bat, especially with where he is in Northern America. I mean,
it's not even in the 32.
That's baffling. That is absolutely baffling, and that's probably criminal in my opinion. But it doesn't lie, unfortunately. It doesn't lie the PC Northern America, and just shows how much he's been slacking.
Yeah, he's 39th in the world. He's only, before we wrap it up, he's only, oh bloody hell, he is currently sitting 53 and a half grand.
It's a pro tour to Adrian Lewis he needs to win, unfortunately, because he ain't get a chance to win these TV tournaments because he ain't qualify for most of them.
Yeah. But it can't be everyone's fault, can it? It can't be 10 different players' faults. If it's you in a bus up with 8 different players, it can't be all of their faults, can it? There's one constant in that.
I'm not going to be biased, but unless it's Peter Manley in 18 years, I do think Peter Manley started that.
Yeah.
Because I think he said to Whispered in 18 years, he is saying, show some shame or something.
Peter Manley, what a man. But anyway, that is where we're going to wrap up episode 4. It was great to get Chris back on. Before you go, Chris, where can we find you? Your link is down below as well, so just go down below and click Chris's link. But where can we find you?
Yeah, find me on YouTube where I just do... Well, I got a bit of a break until after the Tyrrell match because I'll be doing a review on that at On 2 Port Vale. Which is, for me, if we have to win now, we need to get our... There's no point taking the tour because if you want tours, go to a furniture shop. We need to start. We need to start winning now. We need to start winning. It's none of this. I hate it. It's like I'll take a point. There. It's all about winning. But Liverpool, obviously Liverpool, Carlo. I'm only doing in the national team content when we're in the actual tournament. None of this Nations League, bullets and all that. And it's national friendlies, all that crap.
Yeah.
And obviously I do. I'll be doing F1 content that starts in 1 month as well. The new F1 season, another season of chaos ahead. and obviously darts as well, darts and bottom. I am thinking on doing online darts, IP watching on as well at some point.
Yeah, that'd be class.
So yeah, just test myself out there, and obviously find me on Twitter, Chris Wells CUFC.
So thanks for listening, watching. I'm gonna try and get these podcasts available on Spotify. So we will try and get that sorted. But we'll see you same time, same place on Tuesday next week at 6 o'clock. Obviously, you've got me on Thursday for the Premier League. I will be live on Friday as well for Euro Tour qualifiers, Euro Tour 2 and 3 qualifiers. Won't be able to do Saturday Pro Tour as I'm going to be at Newport Oldham. Big game for us and for Chris, as he's going to be hoping Oldham don't beat us. And I will be doing Pro Tour number 4 on Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks to everyone in the chat. It's been absolutely fantastic. Make sure to subscribe to Chris. He is on the road to 100 after hitting 50 subscribers earlier on. So subscribe to him. His link is down below. And I shall speak to you guys shortly. Bloody hell, didn't mean to do that. Speak to you guys shortly.